It's day 3 of the Makeshift Marblympics, and our next event is Gymnastics. Each of our marbles will get just one go on the balance beam, where they will be judged on 2 criteria, distance and technique. The 8 marbles with the highest scores will get the points, and of course the top 3 will get the medals. Up first is Russia, a nation with such a rich history of gymnastics that they've actually won more Olympic medals during non-Olympic years than most countries have during Olympic years. And they kick us off with a fairly solid 9. Perhaps they could have been more ambitious in their routine, but they've set a pretty good benchmark. A nice front handspring to start for Australia. The walkover was a little pedestrian, but generally very tidy. They've had a wobble on the dismount and that could hurt them. And they've been judged to have dismounted early, so only get 4 points for distance and a 3.1 for technique. Up next, Japan have opted for a very manageable routine, starting with a pike jump. And that's nice. They've gone a little wide with that series of rendezvous, but that front tuck to finish, followed by a steady dismount, should give them a reasonable score. And it's an 8.2. They might be disappointed with that, but I think they could have packed their routine with more difficulty. Now here is a difficult routine. Tuvalu starting with a double half entry spritzer, and they lose it. I'm not sure what happened to them there. The double goes well, the half goes very well. They land the spritzer a bit close to the edge perhaps, and something just gives way. And we see their one unhappy Tuvalu camp. Kenya start off with a wolf hop and a front tuck, and they go the way of Tuvalu. There was really nothing difficult in this at all, but they just throw it away. High expectations for Great Britain as they start with an empty volleyette, straight into a straddle jump, into a full volleyette. This is wonderful to watch. But that's a nasty slip just before the end, and it cost them dearly. What would have surely been a winning performance is going to struggle to get them any points. This is strong from Ethiopia. 2 barrel tucks to start, and that was a lovely Valdez. They've landed that perfectly, and it will be a strong score. A 9.2 sees them take the provisional lead from Russia. This is a slow start here. A few split jumps and a straddle. That's a good back handspring and neat executions throughout. That will bring the score up, but it's unlikely to threaten the top spots. Let's take a look at the scores as they stand at this halfway point. It's fairly tight at the top there, so plenty of room for movement, but Japan will be bitterly disappointed not to be in the mix. China to kick off the second half. Of course, gymnastics was invented in China in 3000 BC, so they've had plenty of time to practice, but by the looks of things they need a few more millennia. What they did well, but what they did wasn't nearly enough. This performance from Uzbekistan feels a bit light. A few leaps and a couple of hops, and they come off a shade early as well. 7.2 seems generous to me. It was near flawless execution, but severely lacking in difficulty. USA start with a very strong wolf leap into a Shushanova with quarter twist, and that glorious double tuck backspring over the length of that 4th brick, surely on its own enough to win this competition. And that does put them in first place as things stand. But this is a strong entry from Colombia. If they can finish well, they might challenge, and their work on that final brick was exceptional. A 3/4 back-to-back vegan finder executed to perfection gives them a 9.5 to take them into first place, meaning those USA celebrations were very short-lived. Colombia enjoying celebrations of their own there, but will they be equally short-lived? Brazil doing everything they can to make that so. This is fantastic jumping. But fantastic jumping has turned into fantastic failing. Such a strong opening from Brazil. Would have really been contenders here. But something went awry and they get huge deductions. Nothing much of note here from Vatican City. They've played it safe, but they've played it well, and they get an 8 for their troubles. I think they'll be happy with that, and may even have an outside chance of picking up a point or 2. I don't think there's any such chance for Canada though. An uninspiring routine, an uninspiring execution. In fact, the most entertainment was them falling off. And finally, South Africa. Can they provide one last twist, or rather a routine of twists, for this event? No. Jump, jump, plop. And that means the gold medal is making its way to Colombia! Congratulations to Colombia, USA and Ethiopia. on 3 beautiful performances and 3 well-deserved medals. So you've seen the confirmation of the final scores and the points that have been allocated accordingly. And here's how that affects our overall standings after 3 events of the Makeshift Marblympics. Thank you for joining us. We hope you had fun, and we'd love to see you tomorrow for event 4, rock climbing.